What's up guys, Kyle with Legends Boxing, and today we're going to talk about getting more power into your punches. So all of this is going to be technique based while you're doing your bag work and your technical work. On a later date, we will be coming up with some videos as far as exercises you can do to help get power to your punches, so keep an eye on the channel. So starting first, right, where does our power come from? Legs and core. Right? For the most part, you'll see a lot of people wailing on the bag, throwing their arms into it, and really all you're getting out of that is the power your arms and your hands can produce, okay? So what I need to do first is I need to identify how can I get my legs and my entire body into my punches, okay? I mean, an easy formula we all learned in physics class was force equals mass times acceleration. So the faster I can get my body weight into punches, typically the harder I can hit. Right? So let's start with just a simple cross. I'm going to demonstrate this as a southpaw so you guys can see better on the video. But a simple cross, left cross, if I'm just throwing my arms, that's pretty much all the power I get. I can hammer it, but then I start breaking form and technique. An easy way to get my body into these punches, stay springy in my legs, and rotate my feet. Okay, what I'm doing when I'm rotating my foot is I'm extending my leg, throwing my hip, engaging the leg and the glute muscles, turning over my body into that punch. Helps me get more power. Okay, another thing is be snappy, still be quick. When it comes to power, if I'm pushing, I'm not effectively moving my body weight into that bag. That's one thing, is effective mass. How can you effectively transition all the weight and all the power you can produce into a punch? In this case, I'm gonna treat this bag like it's a hot piece of metal. The second I make contact, once that fist is there, I can't get any more power in that punch, so I'm recoiling it. Same thing with a lead hook. I'm gonna rotate my front foot. That's gonna help me learn to develop. Rotating my hip, okay? So that's the first thing. Turn your body, get your legs into these shots, okay? Stay relaxed in the upper body, okay? One of the next things is being accurate. And so this is how I'm gonna explain. So if you think about something like an arrow shot from a bow, how is a little arrow powerful enough to take down a big elk, right? And it's due to surface area. An arrow is pretty light. It doesn't weigh more than an ounce, a couple ounces. What makes it such an effective tool is all that force is transmitted to one point. So I want you guys to look at a fist. When I'm hitting a bag, right, I don't want to there's no target on this. I'm just wildly hitting whatever ends up in the path of my fist. You want to be accurate. Aim small, miss small when you're throwing your punches. So as I'm throwing a jab, for instance, I'm not just getting my hand out and whatever makes contact. I'm focusing on the target and I'm focusing on what I'm going to hit it with, right? Typically these two knuckles. So I'm not transitioning all the force of my punch just into my hand. I'm transitioning it to the point of these two knuckles. So as I'm making contact with that target, again, it's not just a hand, right? I'm turning it over, trying to isolate those two knuckles when I make contact. So shrinking the surface area of what you're hitting with is, again, another way that's gonna help you get more power into your punches. Now, another way we can get power into our punches utilizing form and technique is stepping into your punches. Again, I talked about effective mass, moving yourself into a punch, right? So for example, let's take my jab, right? If I'm doing everything correctly, I'm turning my body into that punch, I'm putting everything onto a small surface area, I'm being accurate. One other way I can now get additional power is by stepping. Now when I step, I'm not gonna step and pull myself. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push off my back leg, picking up my front foot into this punch. So when I throw that jab, again, instead of just turning it out, right? Again, I can get a decent amount of power because I'm using my body. I'm gonna step. Okay, same thing with like a two with my cross, my left cross. I can still step with that front foot, turning my foot over. That's gonna get me a good amount of power. I can now step into it. Okay, even a three. Are all things that can now help me get my mass in my punches effectively, okay? So think about that. Don't just try to hammer it. How can you get your legs? How can you get your body weight into that punch as fast as you can? Try these things out, work on them with your form and technique, dedicate time to some of these small changes, and you'll see some improvement in your power.